Trump may have been somewhat close to reaching a peace deal. Now, according to him, he has the backing of Vladimir Putin. But now, once again, Zelenskyy, according to Donald Trump, is rejecting a peace deal. We'll go ahead and get started. Here it says Trump criticizes Zelenskyy as Ukraine refuses Russian control of Crimea. Here it is, folks. This was 21 hours ago. Oh boy. Oh, buddy. U.S. President Donald Trump has accused Volodymyr Zelenskyy of harming peace negotiations after the Ukrainian president said Kyiv would not recognize Russian control of Crimea. Writing on Truth Social, Trump claimed a deal to end the war was very close, but that Zelenskyy's refusal to accept U.S. terms will do nothing but prolong the conflict. Okie dokie, sir. First and foremost, I don't know what Zelenskyy is expecting to happen here. I really don't. We all know that Ukraine cannot beat Russia. So
well, Sabby, since you don't understand it, let me explain it to you. What is to stop Vladimir Putin in 3 or 4 years invading the Ukrainians again? He's done it before, he'll do it again. And each time he invades, he takes a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And then we got this idiot Trump, who I don't believe in the first place. Anytime Trump said that he came close to a peace deal, especially since he said he's going to do it within 24 hours. Hell, he said he was going to end the war before he even took office. During the transition, he said he was going to end the war, and he hasn't. And we're now 3 months into his presidency, and he still hasn't ended the war. Look, Vladimir Putin is going to try to get as much as he can, and Trump, being Putin's buddy, he's gonna let Putin take what he wants. I mean, Trump, that is, already tried to strong arm Zelenskyy. Already tried to blackmail him, trying to get those minerals over there in the Ukraine, and Zelenskyy said, "F that. I'm not giving you shit without guarantees."
Months of fighting, the Russian military had finally managed to take back most of the territory in the Kursk region. From that point, the strategy seemed to be to consolidate the troops that took part in the Kursk counter-offensive battalions closer to the Donbass front in the east, all in an effort to launch a more decisive campaign designed to spread Ukraine's defenses thin. But what Putin and his generals didn't seem to account for is just how much Ukraine is willing to push the limits during the war. In one fell swoop, Putin's entire plan to mount an offensive crumbled on April 21, after Ukraine's shock strike on large contingents of troops, mechanized infantry, vital military compounds, and even road infrastructure in Belgorod. The strikes performed by the Ukrainian military are just the latest in a line of offensive movements to cross the Sumy region in Ukraine to the Belgorod region in Russia. This would effectively, once again, bring the battle to Russia, mirroring a similar advance to the Kursk invasion of August 2024. The play-by-play of the offensives are strikingly similar, but there are a few notable differences that would make the Belgorod incursion potentially more devastating to Russian forces. So, what did Ukraine manage to do? The actual Belgorod incursion started in late March, with the goal ostensibly being the same as in Kursk, splitting Russian forces away from active combat in Donbass, where both Ukraine and Russia have been slowly losing steam since the end of 2024. However, as Ukraine still has a profound numerical disadvantage in terms of troop size and how many long-range attacks it can throw, Russia was slowly gaining ground, even if those gains came at insurmountable cost to personnel and morale. Therefore, Ukraine started with smaller raids into Belgorod, with daily reports suggesting gains of a few square kilometers.
So when you're a real leader, you don't just give up your territory. Ukraine is not going to allow Trump and Putin to just dictate what goes on in their country. There's a sovereign country, and they're not going to just bow down to Putin and Trump. Now, Sabby, you said that the Ukrainians can't win this war. Well, according to Putin, the war was supposed to end 3 years ago. It was only supposed to last a couple of weeks, according to Putin. And yet, the Ukrainians 3 years later are still fighting. So I say, look, Zelenskyy, you stand strong. The European Union is with you. F America, F Trump. You stand strong for your country. That's what a true leader would do. Anyway, guys, so with the Ukrainians slowly moving towards Russia, I'm wondering if Putin and the Russian troops really do have that heart. With morale being low and the Ukrainians slowly but surely marching towards Russia, is Russia really having some issues with their military? And you say, Sabby, that Trump is having more issues dealing with Zelenskyy than he is with Putin. No kidding. He would, wouldn't he? Putin is trying to take over Ukraine, and Trump is willing to give Putin whatever he wants. So hell yeah, you're going to have more problems with Zelenskyy, who is trying to protect his people and his country. He ain't supposed to just bow down to Trump and Zelenskyy. To Trump and Putin. No, Zelenskyy is doing what a strong leader is supposed to do. Anyway, thank you all for coming back to the Black Only News and Entertainment Network. Peace, take care, and be safe.